And this is revolving around a Pixel 3a and 3a XL. So they've been making a lot of appearances this week. We saw leaked promos, and even got a leak of someone who took a picture of one spotted in Best Buy. And this is what's leading me to my topic. As there's reports that came out that the Pixel 3 have not been getting the kind of sales Google has hoped for. So coming out of 9 to 5 Google had put out a statement saying that with respect to hardware results, while the first quarter results reflect pressure in the premium smartphone industry, we are pleased with the ongoing momentum of assistant-enabled home devices, particularly the Home Hub and mini devices, and look forward to our May 7th announcement at I/O from our hardware team. As well as one particular comment coming from Sundar Pichai saying we are still early in our hardware journey. And when I look ahead at the portfolio that we have created across Pixel, Home, and Nest, I feel really good about the range of products that we have. So let's first talk about the announcement that they're obviously going to be making, and that's the Pixel 3a and 3a XL. And the reason why this kind of is telling is because reading further into this article by 9 to 5 Google, as well as some of the other articles out there, they're starting to see that this premium smartphone industry is just dominated by two companies, Samsung and Apple. And even though Google have really managed to do a decent job considering, they feel like, well, maybe they can make more of a dent in the mid-range phone. The reason being because, well, you look at the Pixel 3, I've said, when you look at the specs, it pretty much is a mid-range phone. So they're hoping with the 3A and 3A XL, they can price it at a better price, and they can get more customers in that mid-range area and dominate that and allow Samsung and Apple to dominate there. And something else that, obviously came out of that article is the simple fact that, they're looking at as far as hardware, they're doing a good job with their home, which makes sense because I'm seeing a lot more people adopting the Google Home and as well as all the other Google Assistant products out there. But this is where I need to pick on Google, because I talked about this heavily for a number of times, and it's with their hardware. And I want to stay with 9 to 5 Google because they wrote an article on the 1st of May, and this article for me just highlights the issue with Google. And in their article, they talked about 6 issues that are still plaguing the Pixel phone. One of them being the slow camera app, poor memory management, Bluetooth problems, the speakerphone not working at the start of a call, fast wireless charging not working properly, and the ambient display screen flashing. Now, some of these are software things that can be resolved, but a number of these are a result of the hardware. And it's a problem that I continue to have with Google. And I feel like that the issues that they're having with them not getting the kind of sales that they were expecting is on them. They have been putting out hardware that has not been impressive. If it wasn't for us kind of fanboying on Google, I wonder if we had to be truly honest, and in fact, even better, if we took the name Google off of the hardware and you put another name on it, would we be given the same kind of praise with these phones? Particularly the Google Pixel 3 XL. Would we be giving the same kind of praise that we're giving them now? Yes, they finally got the camera right. After years of creating a smartphone, we give them that. And as far as software, They have come up with some really innovative things. Call screening, I love it. Some of the things that they're able to do with their camera, loving it. But it's not enough. And we've given them a pass for too long. And I've said that a number of times. And you know what? The rest of the community, the rest of the world, they responded. And they're not buying it. And you know what? I said it a number of times to customers out there who ask for a phone. Would you recommend the Pixel 3? And for the first time, I could not say yes. Where other Google phones, I'm like, okay, I can see picking it up. Even the Pixel 2 last year, it's not where it needs to be, particularly Pixel 2. But okay. But this year, I could not. And the reason? There were other better options out there. I didn't even make the Pixel 3 my primary choice. My primary phone is my OnePlus 16. And it's for a good reason, because it had the hardware. And for a lot of us in the community who made the excuse for Google that 4 gigabytes is enough, it wasn't. And it's being proven right now on their hardware and on their phones. People have an issue with a phone just not responding like it needs to. With an extra gigabytes of RAM would have clearly made the difference. And we're not going to talk about the notch. That is, it's just in a way, just the overall design of phone in particular. I mean, let's be real here. This is not Google's best effort. The phones they've been putting out the past 2 years have not been their best effort. We've still been waiting for their best effort. Now, I know we ain't going to have a perfect phone, but this is not a type of phone where like, okay, we're almost there if this was fixed. No, this is a year but. If they had this right. But we're constantly making excuses for them. Google can get it right. It's not like we're talking about a company out there that don't have the means. We're not talking about someone like maybe a smaller name. We're talking about Google here. Google. We don't need to make an excuse for them. I mean, they've proven that they can do it if they really wanted to. If OnePlus have been able to put the phones out that they put out, and I'm not trying to make OnePlus out to be a company or a phone that's, on the same level as Samsung, but for what the money that they have and what they had to do with it, if OnePlus was able to put out the hardware that they've been putting out, there is no excuse why Google cannot put out much better hardware. And it's not like it's one of those things where they didn't have the money. What they were trying to do was get by on seeing if they can push this to the market and get the market to buy it, and the market clapped back and refused to. And rightfully so. They saw other options out there. And they said, if you're going to give me this at this price point, I'm either going to find another flagship or I'm going to go find a cheaper smartphone with the same specs that you're giving me. And when you take the specs of the Pixel 3 XL and you put it next to some of these mid-end smartphones, that's where it belongs. But if I'm going to have to choose between that and something else, I'm going to choose something else. I'm going to choose something like a Motorola G that's cheaper. That, honestly, when put next to my Pixel 3 XL, performs just as well. I prefer the screen over that one. In fact, it's the only thing that sets the Pixel apart is that camera. And I give them that. Their camera is good, but not good enough to justify the price they would ask for the 3XL. And yeah, so Google being where they at right now is their own doing. And I'm not going to sit there and try to tell people that it's going to be all right unless Google is willing to fix the problems. And the problems being them not putting out their best effort when it comes to hardware. So they got to decide what they want to do going into next year, or this year, really. And it looks like, at least I hope they are, that they're going to address that and not just give up. Because, yeah, they can dominate this market. But it got to be a decision whether they want to. Because there was a question that people brought up when they was talking about trying to make a gaming platform. Like, we see everything else you put out there, all the half effort you put out there. Now, when they decide to make something and go all in, they've proven that they are able to. It's just we haven't seen them go all in with a lot of things. And when you're putting out a flagship phone and you're saying you want to compete with Samsung and you want to compete with Apple, then you got to go all in. Apple's going all in. Samsung's going all in. So you need to go all in. And that's what pretty much needs to happen. I'll say this. Looking at all of where we're going with smartphone technology, evolution that we're expecting to have happen, I do want to see Google be part of the company leading the way. I miss that Nexus mentality. I miss them saying that let us be the hardware manufacturer and software to show other companies how to do it. Let us show you this vision of where we can go.